Who's your emergency contact? Who should we notify in the case of death? Welcome to the USP, where I spent the last 2+ decades of my life. This is 2008, the end of 2008. I'm in Atwater. The homie just killed the police. We were locked down for a few months. We came out for a week, and something else happened with the white boys and the Crips. And then I got caught up. And I'm now in the SHU. I'm 31 years old at this time. I'm in Atwater. They take me to the SHU for attempted introduction. That's the shot they gave me. So when I go in there, they put me in the holding tank. I get stripped out, butt naked. You gotta do the routine. Lift up your arms, pull up your nutsack, turn around, bend over, cough. Then you're in the holding tank for about 6 hours, waiting for them to find a cell for me. So I'm sitting there, they finally find a cell for me. They take me to the cell. It's my homeboy Tigo, the Vietnamese dude that came off the bus with James and Joe. I guess when the police killed when James and Joe killed the police, they had locked Tigo up too, because he was in there in the cell drunk. He had a bottle of lightning, moonshine. And when they were coming in, shaking down the unit, he seen them come in and he didn't want to get caught with the wine or with the shine. So he just downed a pint of moonshine. Most people that they drink in there, a lot would become alcoholics or whatever, but they have a high tolerance. But for Tigo, like when he's sober, he's one of the nicest dudes you're ever gonna meet. Good dude. But when he drinks, he's a different person. A lot of the incidents that he's ever been in is because he was drunk. So when he seen the COs come in and shake down the unit, he just downed a pint of shine. And when they were pulling him out, taking his stuff, and one of the COs was saying something about how they felt about the homies doing what they did to that guard. Of course, Tigo ran his mouth, and he was just like, shit, all the warden, whoever can get it too. And so they got scared and locked his ass up. So when I go in, he's in the cell. Now, being in a cell with another person, the size of a bathroom is bad enough. But being in the cell 24/7, no escape with another guy is a different story. And then there's another level to it. Being in a cell the size of a bathroom with another guy that's bipolar and schizophrenic is a whole nother issue. And the issues that me and him have is like, we're both alpha male. With me, I'm able to adjust to your personality because I understand the situation that I'm in the cell. We can work together and figure it out because we have no choice. They're gonna put us in here, and I'm never gonna be the one to go tell the guard, hey, I can't live with this dude, and he's not the type to do that either. So if it comes to it and we can't figure it out, then we're gonna bump heads. And sitting there in the cell with him, certain thoughts go through my head because this guy's a dangerous guy. He knows martial arts and he has a life sentence. So those combinations, and he's a schizo, bipolar. So these are dangerous combinations that Tigo has with him. But for me, it's not about worrying or being concerned with the situation. It's just like, well, if something happens, how do I deal with this guy? One day we go out to rec. We come back from rec. We go out to the rec yard. When we come back, I'm on the top bunk and I'm reading. And I start smelling something, like burnt plastic. I look down and there's Tigo. He's over there by the freaking toilet. When you're in the cell, as soon as you come in the door, The toilet's on your left or your right, depending on what cell you're in. And then you have a bunk bed and a shower. So I smell the freaking burnt plastic. I look down off my book, and he's over there on his knees, freaking melting down shampoo bottles. And I'm like, I'm looking, and of course, I know what he's doing. He's making a knife out of a shampoo bottle. So of course, I'm a little concerned. So I asked him, I said, man, what you doing, homie? He said, oh, the guy think I soft. The fucker think I soft. So I asked him, like, who? Oh, Miguel. Miguel, that fucker think I soft. Now, Miguel is a paisa that he's known for years from other penitentiaries, and they're good friends. And we're in the SHU, and while we were out at rec, we were in one cage, and this particular guy named Miguel was like 2 cages from us. So I'm not understanding like how he got to the point where he got to the point in his head. But he's like, yeah, that motherfucker think I soft. Watch, I got something for him. I got something for him. Because, we wreck with anybody. When we go out to wreck, whoever they're pulling out, because it's just, in the SHU, it's just me and him. We're the only Asian Islander in the SHU. All the other homies are on the yard or whatever. But we're in a section with, on our tier, they got Sereños, white boys, blacks, whoever. They got everybody mixed up. So when they pull out a group, because there's only like 6, maybe 5, 6 rec cages out there. So sometimes they might pull out the Sereños, all at one time, or the white boys, or the blacks, or the paisas, whatever. And we're the odd number. So as they're pulling out rec, and they might have another rec cage open, or they might just want to get a couple more people in so they can move the process faster, they'll just come and get us and be like, hey, you guys want to go out? We're like, yeah. We don't even ask who's out in the rec cage because we wreck with whoever, So I guess when he went out there and we were at the rec yard, he was trying to holler at his homeboy Miguel. And I guess Miguel, from his perspective, he thinking that Miguel ignored him, like brushed him off. So he's like, oh, I fucker think I'm a lame or something. I try to say what's up to him, and he just ignored me. So I'm like, all right. I mean, how do you talk to somebody that's bipolar and schizophrenic? So the very next day, he got his knife together, whatever that he rolled out of shampoo bottle. You can melt it down and roll it up or whatever. So we go out there, and this time we're in the cage right next to Miguel. I don't eavesdrop on their conversation. I don't care. One, he's gonna have to go through a lot of changes just to get to the Mexican dude anyway, because when you leave your cell in the SHU, you're always cuffed up behind your back, or if you're too wide and they can't put your hand behind your back to put a belly chain on you and cuff you up right here on your waist. So after we come back from rec, I say, oh no. I said, so what's up, man? What's going on? Oh no, that's my friend. He's cool. We're cool. That's my friend. And through the course of the time I was in the SHU with him, it's always like that. Every other day, somebody's disrespecting him. Somebody's thinking he's a lame or trying him. But it's all in his head. And in the beginning, I was almost a little bit irritated by it. But then I recognized that, that he does have some issues. And then I just let him do whatever he do, So I got locked up in December for my shot for the attempted introduction. So around Christmas, in the BOP, throughout the whole system, everybody gets a Christmas bag. When I first came in, the Christmas bag was big. You couldn't even fit it through the door. They had to open the door and give it to you. And it doesn't have nothing, just a bunch of candy, chips, some knickknacks, maybe a cup of coffee, like a coffee cup. But before I left, the Christmas bag is about just a little box now. It can fit right through the tray slot, you know. So every year the shit's, you know, been going down, getting worse. But we all look forward to that. We're not looking forward to it because there's candies and stuff in there and chips in there, because we can get that from commissary anytime we want. But it's more of like, it's the holidays and we're getting a gift. Like, who doesn't like a gift? And policy is everybody in the prison system gets one. I've been in the SHU plenty of time during Christmas. And if the warden doesn't give it to you in the cell, they'll tell you, hey, your Christmas bag is in your property. So whenever you leave the SHU, you'll have your Christmas bag. So everybody in the SHU is waiting for a Christmas bag. And it doesn't happen. You know, like, it gets into, like, you know, usually they come in the morning and start passing out. So about 3 o'clock, somebody asks the CEO that's doing the rounds, like, hey man, what's up with our Christmas bag? When are you guys gonna pass the Christmas bag up? Because, you know, they usually do it a few days prior to Christmas, because on Christmas Day, they wanna be able to go and have their own little party, you know, for the staff and all that stuff. So leading up to Christmas Day, we've all been waiting for a Christmas bag, and it hasn't happened yet. So on Christmas Day, we're like, hey, what's up with the Christmas bag? And the guy's like, oh, you guys aren't getting it. Like, what do you mean we're not getting it? Oh, the warden said nobody in the SHU is getting it. So like, no. That shit is supposed to be put in our, at the very least, put in our property. Like, man, let's talk to the lieutenant. You know, so they call the lieutenant down, and he's talking to the door to all the inmates. This is black, whites, everybody. Because we're already stuck in the SHU, and we all had hopes for this little Christmas bag, which is full of dumb shit. I don't even hate half of it, because it's just candies and knickknacks and whatever. But it's just the fact that we got it coming. We haven't done anything not to get it. This is for everybody. So when the lieutenant comes down, he says, man, nobody's getting a Christmas bag. The warden said, if you're in the SHU, you're not getting it. And the warden at this time is a warden, his name is Rios. You know, he's like known through the BOP, the Bureau of Prison, as a troubleshooter. Like, when there's a prison that's too ruckus or whatever, too much violence or whatever, they send him over there, and you know, I guess he fixes things or whatever. But, you know, he's really feeling himself. He feels like he's like the godfather of all the wardens and stuff. The way he carries himself, the way he talks. And, you know, and outside of this, I never really had any issue with the guy. I mean, I don't know him. I don't get to know him or anything like that. But I've been on visiting restriction for 4 years because of all my other prior incidents. And, you know, a couple of times and when you're on restriction, to get a visit, you have to request for a special visit, and you can do it once every 6 months. So every time, you know, after I came out of the SHU or whatnot, the few times I asked him for a special visit, he always allowed me to get it. So I never really had any issue with him. But again, we're in the SHU and we're not getting no Christmas bag. And we're mad. We're like, man, fuck that. So a couple of words got passed through the tiers, and I forgot the guy's name that was a Sereno over there in Atwater. See, Atwater, the USP Atwater, before they built the prison, you know, they let the community have a say in it, and the community agreed to allow the feds to build a federal prison, a USP, in Atwater, if the feds agreed never to place a black hand or an Aryan brother in that facility. So in Atwater, there's no big homies. Somebody asked me, well, when the Crips jumped the white boys, did the Serenos jump in? No, the Serenos didn't jump in. The Serenos and the white boys don't really have the alliance like they have how I was in Victorville, because there's no big homies there. And the big homies, the brand and the black hand is usually the reason why these two groups ride together, because of the close alliance that those individuals have. But in Atwater, there's no big homies. And through the course of our time, I'll take you through how that's a negative and a positive as far as the functioning for the Sureños and the white boys. So we have no Christmas bag. So we decide to buck. We covered up our window. Every day is 4 o'clock count. They got to count. At 4 o'clock, they got to count, get the numbers, and send it to region. If you disrupt their count, the compound can't open up until the count is right. So when they came at 4 o'clock to count, we had all of our windows covered up, you know. So now it's an issue. They call the warden and everything. They come through like, hey, man, you guys need to take down your windows cover or we're coming there to get you. And we're like, shit, come in and get us. That's why we covered the window. We're trying to wreck. So for the next 4 hours, I'm in my cell with Tigo. Our windows covered up, but we can hear all the commotions and stuff going down the hallway. The COs, they go suit up in their turtle suit. They go get their freaking gas, you know, canisters of OC. They bring their bean bags. They bring their flash grenades. And all tier, the whole SHU, like whoever had the yard for the Sureños in the SHU, when he makes the call, every single Sureño have to go. So every Sureño in the SHU bucked. 4 cells of white boy buck, and we buck. None of the blacks buck. So they went and started extracting everybody that bucked one by one. So you can imagine it was like about 6 hours before they got to us. We were the very last cell. And while we're waiting for them to get us, you know, Tigo, bipolar, schizophrenic, he's got his knife out, sharpening it, you know, and everything. I'm on the top bunk. And he looks up at me, goes, all right, I got 2. 1 for me, 1 for you. Well, when they come in, we can get them. I'm like, all right, whatever. You know, a couple hours go by. I look down. I see Tigo breaking the knives because it's all plastic made of fucking shampoo bottle. So he breaks the knives and he flushes them down the toilet. So I look down. I was like, what's up? He's like, oh, man, I got a bunch of assault cases on my, I got a bunch of assaults on my jacket. Because, man, if we try to stab them, they're probably going to fuck us all the way off. So let's just beat them up, right? When they come in, let's just beat them up. I'm like, all right, whatever. So we're waiting. We can hear, you know, dudes screaming, them shooting the gas and all the commotion. It's like a war zone down the hallway, you know, because they always tell you, cuff up, and they're recording it. If you're not cuffing up, they pop your tray slot, spray you. If that doesn't subdue you, they spray you again, and so on and so forth, because they're not coming in there while you're still on your feet. They want to fuck your ass all the way off before they running on you with their riot gear. So another couple hours go in, and Tigo's like, hey, man, maybe we no fight, because, you know, they're still going to fuck us up or whatever. Like, he just, every couple hours that went by, his demeanor kept, you know, going down a notch. So me, I'm just there kicking back, waiting. I don't really like to verbalize what's going on in my head or anything, because 1, it gives your thought away, and 2, if the first thing you say is, you know, as far as like a level of 1 to 10 is so extreme, then you start turning it down a notch, it just makes you look bad anyway. So I just keep everything to myself. So finally, they get to our cell. They're knocking on our door. Doom, doom, doom. Uncover your window. We don't say anything. Our mind's already made up that we're taking the team and we're not cuffing up. So they do their little routine. Hey, this is your first warning. This is your second warning. And I'm trying to grab my mattress at this time. I'm trying to grab my mattress to put it in between me and the guards when they rush in. So as I'm pulling my mattress off the bunk, I'm trying to see what Tigo's doing. This motherfucker already had the towel. He took his towel, he wet it, because they cut off all the water. He took his towel and he wet it in the toilet. And he wringed it out and he put it over his head so he can freaking breathe when they spray us. So when I'm pulling my mattress off the bunk, I'm about maybe 10 feet from maybe 6 feet from the door. I'm pulling my mattress off the bunk and I'm trying to, locate Tigo so I can talk to him and let's, formulate a little plan to try to resist. Because you can't win. They're coming in with a shield. They got helmets, football pads on. And before they come in, they're spraying you down. So there's no way for you to win. The only thing that we're trying to do is give ourselves the best chance not just to get fucked all the way off. Usually we spray the floor with shampoos, trying to make it slippery, lotion, whatever. But by the time I've been in but this time that we're in the SHU, they've taken a lot of those items away from us already. They won't sell it to us because people use that. Or we rip our sheets up and tie like a spider web from the toilet to the bunk to the little table. Because everything we're doing, we're just trying to not give them just a straight shot at us. So as I'm pulling the mattress down and I look at Tigo, he's already got the wet towel over his head and his face in the toilet. Because he's already preparing himself for him to spray us. So I'm like, hey, what the fuck are you doing? And as soon as I said that, the tray slot pops open and I get a full canister right in my face. My whole face has to be orange. But if you ever been sprayed, you cannot breathe. Have you ever had dealing with peppers and then you go and touch your eye on accident without washing your hand? That 1,000 times more. I'm like, oh, and I can't breathe. My face just got sprayed. I dropped the mattress and I'm a little discombobulated, but all I hear is the key again. And here comes another canister. This one didn't hit me right in the face, but I'm already fucked up from the first one. And right after that, the door pops. Here they come. I can't see them. I can only hear them because my eyes are burning. My lungs is burning. Snots come out of my nose. I'm fucked up. And all I hear, I just feel an impact hit me. I get body slammed. Boom. And now I'm by the corner in the shower. They're rolling me over on my stomach. There's 2 or 3 of them on me. One of them sitting on my back. They're bending my leg up to shackle me. They're pulling my arm back to hog-tie me. Now I'm hog-tied. I got my hand behind my back. The guy sitting on my back. My leg bent up. My shackle, my handcuff is all zip-tied together. So he's like a little pig. And I feel it, and one of them, the guy that's sitting on my back, bangs his knee into the back of my head. Knees my head. Boom. But I'm in the back so close to the shower, so every time he kneed my head, my forehead would hit the shower. So I'm just ping-ponging. I said, all right, maybe I got that coming. Man, I got that coming, After the 4th or 5th time, I was like, okay, I got that coming. But this motherfucker kept going. I was like, all right, now it's getting fucking ridiculous. Man, that motherfucker kneed the back of my head about 10, 12 times. And every time, my forehead would smash into the shower. Boom, boom, boom. And now I'm getting mad. But I can't do nothing. I'm cuffed up. I'm shackled. I'm hog-tied. So finally, whenever they get tired of beating my ass, whenever they pick us up, they drag us out, and they're walking us through the hallway. They clip the zip tie that's got my cuff and my shackle together. So they're escorting us through the hallway, and I can't see anything. And while they're escorting me, the guy that's escorting me, he's sticking his thumb in my eye. He's sticking his finger in my mouth because all that stuff's got that OC on it, and he's just trying to, make it where, I can feel it more, getting it all in my lungs. So they throw us in the shower and try to wash it so we can wash it off, but the shower's hot. Now, if you know anything about heat and temperature, when you got hot water in your skin, it opens up your pore. So all that does is get the chemical to go deeper inside your fucking skin and into your lungs. Whew. That's one that wasn't even the bad part though. Once they done cleaning this up, we're not cleaned up. We're burning, but they wash our eyes out where you can kind of see a little bit. They bring the doctors to come and freaking check our vital, whatever. Because some people, their heart their adrenaline might be pumping too hard and they might cause some type of issue or whatever. So they cuff us up. They go and put shackles on us. They put a black box on us. They take us upstairs. They emptied out a whole tier. And they threw us in the freaking in a cell. Shackled, belly chain, and black box. There's no mattresses. There's no sheets. It's just an empty cell. 2 of us in there. Shackled, belly chain, and black box. And they kept us there for 72 hours. We're laying on the floor. We're in pain. Our body's beat up. We can barely breathe. And we're laying on the floor. And now there's nothing left to do but try to doze off, But it's hard to sleep with shackled and black box. Boom, the door opens. They come, 3 guards come in, pick us up on our feet, take us out to the hallway. And they got the medical dude shining a flashlight in our eyes, checking our restraints to make sure that it's not too tight, whatever. All right, that's fine. They throw us back in the cell. Well, every hour they come to wake us up and do the same routine. For 3 days straight, they came and woke us up every hour. It was just, I know it was. It's a form of torture, sleep deprivation. Because you just checked my restraint an hour ago. There's no need for you to wake me up every hour to check my restraints unless you're doing that on purpose to torture me. Like I say, it's 72 hours because that's what the policy is. They can't do that to us for longer than 72 hours. But at that moment in time, we lost all track of days. We didn't know it was day. We didn't know it was night. It was, I've had a lot of different experiences going through these changes in there with them. But that shit right there was one of the worst things I went through. Not physically, like the pain, but just, well, one, I'm burning up because I still got the gas in my pores going down in my lungs. And if you're not in the shower for an hour scrubbing that shit off, that shit's always going to be there burning under the surface of your skin. And now all I'm seeing is 2 flashlights in my eye. Every time I get woken up, all I see is 2 flashlights in my eye. I can't tell if the sun's up. I can't tell if it's nighttime. There's nothing except for that fucking sound. Door popping, and you can hear the footsteps coming. Because, I can still barely open my eyes because of all the gas. And, yeah, 72 hours. They had us like that. He even tried to, Rios, the warden, try to call Region and see if he can go another 72 hours. But even Region recognized that it was already extreme already. It's extreme for us here in America because we have rules that protect inmates, to protect society from abusive power, from different type of torture techniques. If you're in another third world country, they're going to do whatever they want to do. But we're not in a third world country. We're in the United States of America, and they have rules to protect people from these things. But yet, they still push it to the limit. So when he requested another 72 hours from Region recognized that it was too much and told him, hey, man, cut that shit out, put him back in their cell. And yeah, there's a lot of things that go on, man. And like I said, I'm in that water and I'm going to take you through it. And some of it might be funny, but most of it is not. Welcome to the USP.